Hello, and welcome to a new series called Citizen Sleeper. I recently got this game because it was on sale, and it had really good reviews, so let's dive into it. New game. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Increase to interface and -1 to endurance. Extractor work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have high levels of endurance. Machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. I'm thinking of going with operator. Yeah. Hopefully the audio is balanced alright. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It is at its worst when waking, when you feel when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. You resist nostalgia, sorry. You resist nostalgia. It is pointless, especially now. This is the moment to reach out, not to curl inwards. This is your moment of escape, even if it feels immediately like you traded one prison for another, smaller, colder, lifeless. Reach out. You almost laugh, or you would if there was room, or even air to do so. The walls of the container are immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There's no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited, and once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if in the airless hold of the freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. but you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. Been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sounds too, everywhere. Screeching, shimmering so loud that your body ducks, your hearing to protect its senses. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You're out. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of his scrapyard, swatted in reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised healer. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships. Some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you aboard yet? Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero math. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates, or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. Its headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulders, his symbolically linked drone's perches, its iris locking you with an unflinching stare. The last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body. That's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along, remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold glow on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cell. The promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation. These aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you know, what you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S-Arm wants to protect their property. S&R wants to protect their property. But if they can't keep a hold of you, well, then no one can. So I'm assuming this is a corporation trying to replicate consciousness? in place of AI, maybe? We'll see. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? For now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. It's an old freight container I've been using as storage, out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something rolls up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright. Head up on there. You look like you'll need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the Rex, his thrones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to his work. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life under Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you'll need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select locations by clicking on their icons. Is there anything else we can do? Let me take a look at this. Interface interactions. Agent notes gives you double data rewards. This is probably the path we want to go down. Dice actions display potential negative outcomes. This, I think, is pretty important. I like these two. Yeah, I do sort of want to increase my intuit because its bonuses seem pretty nice. In the meantime, though, let's end the cycle. You wake up curled in the corner of the container and slowly begin assembling the world around you. After all, this time you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blankets close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Maybe you did get lucky. Find yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe, if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded satchels of desiccated powder. You find the power stove of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the satchel smell like damp wood. and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is as long as you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. It is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove, as best as you can, and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. At the start of each cycle, you can roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice is based on your current condition. The worse condition you have, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions, and must rest to recover them and end the current cycle. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but you first have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. Okay. Gregos is stood in the corridor when you close the container. He is wearing his headset. In the harsh light of the corridor, you realize that it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its catch of sensory eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not gonna chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to shipyards, or the bright market builders require. Occasionally, we pull some tech. Something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find the good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, it'll be used to manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn on. Assuming chit is just currency. He shuffles to his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited to moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are here for me, at the yard, he pauses. I need help. Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little crier to a client hero day. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Okay, so he's in a lot of debt. He might be trying to sell me, we'll see. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Drago's yard. Positive action goes better than expected. Neutral action succeed, negative action fails. Even the roughest holes can hide valuable explaining material. Extracting them means carefully cutting carefully and skillfully inputting. Critical repeatable. Okay. Safe condition. Negative outcome means cryo energy loss. Negative outcome means condition loss. Skill. Interface. How does the action dice? Some actions require +1 to perform. Back in business. Clocks are displayed below in active that field. They track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as Draco's ticking death, are cycle clocks. These clocks take themselves once every cycle and complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives. I see. What is this? Ah, I see. Okay. What about in here? Okay. That's not worth it. Okay, nice. Okay, I don't think there's too much to do. Oh, there's more. More scrap, I see. And rotunda. Ah, so there was more. I should have probably used the dice here, huh? Oh well, too late now. Also need to find a doctor. I should have probably explored a little more. Oh, that's a pretty big ship, actually. Alright, time to end the cycle. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal rig, surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across the colorless void. Then the connection begins to establish themselves, threads tugging at the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extension, as you feel your thoughts slipping away, down them, dissolving into millions of disturbed, distributed nodes. They connect to you. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of textures in a smooth, black liquid. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see feel the map of the station. Not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. Its looped cloud with spokes and spires that project out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and separate pathways. It is a system, a map, a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling at you, insistently, as if you were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back, trembling, into this unfamiliar body, but yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel wall. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and feel it waiting there. The station's laid out across your mind, a storm of connected nodes, waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. What is my start again? Interface. That's gonna unlock later then. Gate. I see. So here's the doctor. So he got it from exploring the markets. You lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see the amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway, and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in a warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panels give a full view of Bright Market's sealed roof, and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come sit, was a sharp voice. You see a silhouetted figure turned away, placing plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit, they gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. The tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from the expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on this station? They ask, the center still to the eye. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming that you don't know anything. They take your arm, roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. To prevent bodies like yours, frame as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when they're not regularly injected with stabilizer. I'm sorry, Sabine says. You're unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status, and SR has no reason to release stabilizer to the market. I know this is of little use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. I may be able to help, Sabine says. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Taroshi outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the wind. They give me space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers. Tend to implants. Sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Steward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporation on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face draped by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower levels of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. The room looks dark against the light of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Okay. Okay, that's gonna take a few cycles then. Shipyard. Let's see, is there anywhere that's safe and I don't have a -1? Nice. do we eat is the question. Ah, here we go. To get a few more rations, I feel like. Active scenes. Ah, I see. Hey, you wanna earn a chip? Ankita stands beside a huge pile tied together. Huge pile of tied together whole plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is this place? She asks as she lashes the massive place together. What is it with this place? She asks as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, alright? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Wouldn't think of it. Good, she pauses. Look, I'm not usually... Let's just say my temper's been a little short lately. Ankita hoists one of the bundles of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chit-chat. You have to earn that chip. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way, and she sets off down a gauntry at impressive speeds. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passageway and pushes through a small crowd of stevedores. Why are you doing this yourself? Why are you doing this yourself? You mean, why aren't I hiring those good folk? She looks back at the stevedores. I've paid Havenage enough. They're currently rinsing for me. They're currently rinsing me for mooring. I can't vacate unless I either fix the ambergris or sell it off as scrap. What's wrong with it? It, she asks you. She looks at you pointedly. Her. She repeatedly turns under the container as he trailed behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job. I had to moor her up for a spell. But since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in, sliced the core from our mine ship. So now she's gone dark. He shifts the panels on her shoulder. Upshot is I'm one short stint with a lot of repairs to do. The upshot is that I'm short one stint mine with a lot of repairs to do. The rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I've been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? Don't know. Got a ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment, you aren't sure if she's serious. Akita swings the plate back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She holds the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together. And you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plate through the ambergrisses after a lock, and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Nikita throws you a couple chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to grift me. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, out of here. He calls back and the lock slams shut. You drive. Pair. Fix the ambulance. Let's see. Understood. Alright, I think I'm gonna end this video here. Tell me if you like it, and I'll probably play more of this. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe.